Today we're testing my FTP.
That sucks so bad.
What is your FTP and why do you need to test it? How do you test it? We'll answer all those questions, but what actually is FTP?
Sit back and enjoy this triathlon video while I explain FTP. FTP is a cycling metric that stands for Functional Threshold Power. It represents an approximation. In cycling training, FTP is used to determine power zones used in training and help give athletes a point of reference to help with pacing.
So I'm a triathlete, or a wannabe triathlete, and I just want to get stronger on the bike and the run. My swim's just lost, so there's no point in me even trying. Just need to get stronger on the bike and faster on the run. So in order to do that and start a block, you need to know your FTP in order to structure your zones and your training off that. So you need a benchmark, how to set your zones, or to send to your coach, or whatever. If you're doing your own programming, this is the best way to ensure that you have a strong foundation and a clear vision on where you want to go with your training. I don't really recommend testing your FTP like super often, maybe twice a year, because you're not going to make a whole lot of gains in, say 2 or 3 months. So I would say before a big training block, to get a good baseline, or if you're just starting out, test your FTP, or if you're getting right back into it, or not right back into it, but if you're getting back into training after a long hiatus. But it's good to know kind of where you're at, but don't obsess over FTP. It's a really, really important metric, but it's not the only metric that matters. And we'll go over some of those metrics later on in the video. So you know what FTP is. How do you actually do it? I'm going to show you. This is how I do it. I do it on an FTP ramp test on Zwift. It's probably the most convenient way for me to do it. It's hard for me to go out and ride outside. I have a really, really pregnant wife and a little almost 2-year-old running around, so I just have to get it how I live it and get it in when I can. So this is the best way to do it. It's an effective way. Essentially what it is a little warm up, and then you ramp every minute by I think 20 watts until you max out and you just can't pedal anymore. Zwift will calculate your FTP based off of the power zone, or the power that you got to. I'm not really sure how they do it, but it's pretty accurate. And then from there, you can use these training zones. It'll be baked into Zwift, so you can use those training zones in Zwift. It'll automatically put your FTP in these workouts. Now I'm going to show you how to navigate to this ramp test on Zwift, if you have Zwift. There's other ways to do it. This is just the only way I've done it. So I think the principles are all pretty similar.
From the Zwift home screen, you want to click on Workouts. From the workout page, scroll down to FTP tests and click on that. From there, choose the FTP ramp test.
I'm about to put myself through the ringer here for you guys. I'd appreciate a like, a comment, a sub. This is really going to hurt. I'm not looking forward to it. Let me execute an FTP test for you and show you how it works and how bad it hurts. First part of this test is just a free ride for 5 minutes. You gotta get yourself mentally ready to hurt. And how this ramp test works, the power is calculated, or your FTP is calculated by your best, or the highest power you get to. Like every minute it goes up 20 watts. So for the first minute, it's only 100 watts. So the first 10 minutes of this, easy. And then it starts getting really, really hard, really fast. I think the last FTP test I had, 287. It'd be nice to get around that 300 mark. Shirt's off. Stay cool. For some reason I wasn't able to screen record on this MacBook. So I have another camera here recording my screen. But I kinda like the look. I personally like having the cadence around 85. pretty neutral. Try to control that heart rate. Zwift will give you little prompts. They're actually pretty helpful. Just gotta stay mentally locked in. Feeling pretty warm now. I think the first time I tested my FTP, it was like 240, 250. So slowly rising. Try not to spike your power. Slowly ease into each minute. It's hot in here. It's probably like 75 degrees. The cooler you can get, the better. Time to party, baby. Let's go. Whew. Whew. That sucks so bad. My lungs are burning. I'm hot. I ain't doing that for a while. 290. Felt okay. I'm right under. I'm close to 300. I need a few more months and average around 4 hours a week. I should be good. Alright, so I'm not going to do that for a while. It really hurts. FTP tests are hard. They're supposed to be hard. They're actually a really good workout, but they're short usually. My FTP ended up being 290, which is about where I thought it was, which isn't bad. My goal is to get around 300, and when I'm racing, when I'm just training like this where I don't have a race, like staying at 300 is pretty good. But when I start racing, I'm gonna have to be, I think it's gonna have to go up to like 320, 340, just to be competitive. Because what I wanted to touch on at the end of this video is FTP isn't the only metric. It's a really, really important metric, and you need to be strong in the bike, don't get me wrong, so your FTP does need to be high. But so say I'm 83 kilos, you really need to be focused on watts per kilo. So say if you're a lighter rider, like you're 65 kilos and you had an FTP of 300, like that's really, really strong. Me being 83 kilos, which is kind of a heavier cyclist or a heavier triathlete that wants to compete age group wise, like I probably need to have 320, 340 FTP to get that watts per kilo higher. Another thing is just speed. Like, can you translate your power to speed? At the end of the day, it's how fast can you go. It doesn't matter if you're pushing 250 watts and you're going faster than someone that's pushing 320 watts. They can brag about their power meter all day long, but if you're going faster than them, it doesn't really matter. So how do you go faster? I mean, that's really just being more aero, more efficient with your pedal strokes. And say one of the biggest things with FTP is, like, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that can push 300 FTP and they're stronger and more of a anaerobic. They have a higher anaerobic capacity, so they're sprinters. A more anaerobic person could push like a really high FTP for 10 to 20 minutes or power, but they're not as efficient and they're not as aerobic as someone else who can push maybe a lower FTP, but they can push that FTP for longer. So it all depends on your strengths and weaknesses. Like, don't get too caught up in FTP. If you're racing, I would care more about how fast you are, how aero you are. You can always buy speed, man. FTP is supposed to be your 1 hour power. I highly doubt that most people that push whatever their FTP is, say it's 270, I highly doubt those people can hold that. Me included, I can't hold 290 for, maybe I can hold 290 for an hour, but I don't think I can. So my next experiment is, can I hold my FTP, or how long can I hold my FTP? Can I actually, is it my true 1 hour power? So we'll find out, we'll see.